This is the plaintiff, Bernadette Lambus. She says her friend was walking her 18-pound dog one day when the defendant's two dogs approached and attacked her dog, biting her in the butt. The defendant's an arrogant snob who refuses to pay for her unruly dog's misdeeds, and she's here in the name of justice, seeking the $611.55 she's owed for various vet bills. This is the defendant, Regina Flynn. She says the plaintiff's little yappy dog started the fight by jumping on one of her dogs. The plaintiff's dog was the aggressor. Her dog was just defending himself. Animal control agreed, and she refuses to be taken advantage of by the likes of the plaintiff. Oh, her? Ha! She's accused of being doggone mad.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff says the defendant's two dogs bit her dog in the butt and won't pay the vet bills. But the defendant says the plaintiff's dog was yappy and the aggressor. It's the case of in the butt.
Thank you, Douglas. Bernadette Lambus, you are suing Regina Flynn for $611.55, $311.55 of that for vet bills, and another $300 for good measure for aggravation because her dog attacked your dog. Tell me what happened.
Well, my dog was on her leash and was being walked by my friend. And her dog, there are two of them, and they're walked on the same leash. And the bigger one, the brown one, got loose from the leash.
What kind of dog is this?
Mine's a Shih Tzu.
And that dog was on a leash?
Yeah.
Okay, and then why don't I let you tell me since you were there? You were not there, right?
Right.
Okay, so what was it that happened? You were not walking your dog.
No,
right?
I was not. My sister was.
Your sister was, and your sister's not here?
No, she's not.
Okay, go ahead. You have
a letter from her.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, well, her sister was walking the dog. Obviously, the dogs are too big for her sister to be walking off of one leash.
Well, what kind of, when you say
Can I
one...
get it? I do have it.
Yeah, it's one leash with two heads?
Yeah.
Correct. And then here's a picture of her, what it looks like with the dogs on it.
Okay, so she's walking the dogs, and what kind of dogs do you have?
I have a collie golden retriever, and then I have an Australian Shepherd mix.
Is that your sister?
That's my sister. The brown one is the dog that allegedly started it.
Okay, started it? Okay, so talk to me. What happens? I'm sorry.
Well, I was just walking the dog. I was almost at the house, and her sister couldn't control the dogs. The big brown one got off the leash and attacked her little dog.
Is that what your sister told you happened, that he got off the leash?
First of all, I had taken the garbage out, and knew my sister was coming back, so I was on the porch. And what happened is, once the confrontation started, Ellie slipped out of her collar.
What did you see happen?
I saw, when they were near each other, the little Shih Tzu started barking and reared like she typically does when she encounters people. And that's when my Ellie got into protective mode. And as my sister's trying to lead her away, she slipped.
So, and that's what you say occurred, that the dog got out. Why are you making a face, though?
Now she's saying her dog's the aggressive one. That's kind of funny.
Aggressive?
Her dog yeah, that's what she just said. Yeah.
Okay, she says that the dog was yapping and rearing on its hind legs. That's dog behavior.
Yeah,
that's not, there's nothing unusual about that.
But that's not my dog.
I don't care if it is. I don't care if your dog starts trash talking and smack talking that dog. I don't care. In any event, you end up having to take the dog to the vet. And what does a vet do? Just clean out the wounds and stuff?
Yeah, I get all the paperwork.
Any injections, any shots, any stitches, anything?
They didn't have to do stitches, but she had to wear a cone for 2 weeks.
Oh, there's no dignity in that. The dog had to wear the cone? Oh, for the love of God.
So the poor little thing, she can't figure out how to eat with this thing on.
Well, you take it off for them to eat. What are you, cruel, and feed them?
Well, the doctor didn't tell me I could take it off. So she told me that that's what it was basically for. It's just to keep her from licking at them.
Right. Why do you feel like you are not responsible? Because their dog yapped?
No, it didn't just yap. It growls
like that?
It jumps up. And not only that, Your Honor.
Did it jump on your dog? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and if I had...
Stop and listen to my question. Did that dog, you know what the word on means, right? Here's this, that's on that.
Right.
Did that dog go on your dog?
She jumped up at her and growled, Your Honor.
Did
No.
did that dog jump on your dog?
No.
Yes or no? No.
Okay, are small dogs generally afraid of larger dogs? I'm going in the back here.
Yes, I think so.
Why?
They just seem more intimidated, and in my experience at home, that's what's happened.
Is that right? Does everybody agree with that?
No way. Little dogs are always barking at big dogs like they're just as big.
Why?
Because they have like the lion kitten complex.
No, they have a Napoleon complex. Don't you understand? Going inside the courtroom.
So a dog was walking by your dog. Your dog gets loose and bites that dog, and you do not feel responsible because that dog had the hubris to bark and stand up on its hind legs. That's what dogs do. The dogs are animals, folks. We expect them to do exactly what they do. You know, that's not, that is not, there's nothing wrong with the dog. The dogs are doing what dogs do. It's the human behavior that we judge in a courtroom, okay? The law requires you to be in control, and if you can't be in control, if your sister's trying to pull the dog and do the right thing and get the dog, more farther away from each other, and the dog escapes out of the leash, who the heck but you is going to be responsible for what happens?
The dog overall is an antagonistic dog, and my dog went into protective mode.
Okay, I don't have a problem with your dog. I think your dog is lovely. You, I'm having a little problem with. Okay, now, was there some confrontation between you two?
Okay.
After the fact,
After the fact? What happened?
oh, she came out and she started, and she wouldn't finish what she had to say.
What did she say? Okay, you want to tell me about it?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
What
and actually I
happened?
have the police report too.
Ooh, what happened?
If you would like it. So what happened was this, is I was at the top of my driveway, it was about 5 o'clock. She was walking by with the dog, but she was in the street. I said hi. Little did I know, I shouldn't have. I said hi, and she said to me, you better pay that vet bill. And I said, that is not a discussion I'm having with you. You do not own the dog. She started walking away, and you probably don't want me to say what she said to me.
No, I do.
Really?
You don't know me very well.
But anyway.
I do, as a matter of fact.
Okay, she said me and my sister were too fat,
Okay.
to which I replied, better than being a drunk.
Okay.
At which point she whipped around, came down my driveway about 12 feet, at which point I turned around, I said, stop, you're trespassing, I'm gonna call the police. So at that point, she left my
Wow, a lot of
driveway.
action in this neighborhood.
At that point, she left my driveway, and she started walking away and said, you better watch your back. So once she said that, I called the police.
And what happened? What'd they say to you?
They just said, whatever, you don't want the conflict around. I said, but she did start that fight.
How did she start it?
She started running her mouth.
Saying what? That's whatever.
That's why I
What
couldn't
did she
hear what
say
she was
that
saying.
would-
I said, what did you say?
Okay.
And then she told me, I better watch my back. I'm like, I better watch my back. Are you kidding? Anyways, and I said it back to her.
Okay. All right, my dears.
Your Honor,
Here's how it's going to work.
There's
Yeah.
more, though.
There's more?
Oh my God.
Yeah, from my perspective. So in her report, she says to the Quincy Mass Court, she said she asked Miss Flynn for to pay the vet bill. Miss Lambers has never spoken to me
Okay.
in probably 3 years because there's a
Okay.
contentious relationship. I won't even get into it. The police are called a lot because of different things.
But wait, between you two parties, the police have been
yes,
called?
yes.
Really?
She never asked me for the money, Your Honor.
She never asked
She
you for
never
the-
showed me a vet bill. She never asked me for the money.
According
her
to
son,
you-
wait,
Go
her
ahead, her
son
son
came
did.
over and said, my mother wants you to pay this vet bill. This was
Right.
in September.
Right?
And
What'd you say to the son?
I said, your mother needs to woman up and come over and talk to me.
I didn't know you'd admit it. So your mother
course.
needs to woman up. Well, why? She doesn't want confrontation. She doesn't feel like having an argument with you. Look at what happens in the driveways between you people.
But
so
she-
what? No. It's not up to you to decide who needs to woman up and go to your house. That's nuts. You know what? Pay the lady. Not because of that, but because you have to. It's your dog who got loose. $311.55. You don't get to double that because you're annoyed and you're aggravated. That's not, you don't get aggravation.
Excuse me.
I don't care. You don't get aggravation. That is not a legal cause of action, folks.
Okay.
What you get are your damages. That is my judgment.
Defendant's right here coming out of the courtroom. The judge has just told you who was at fault here. What's your reaction to this?
The judge said I was at fault, but I don't agree with her. And and what I forgot to mention to the judge is they didn't file the complaint until the woman threatened me, and I filed a police report, which was 90 days later.
Why did the judge say you were at fault?
Because the dog slipped her collar.
Right, and you're in control of the leash, and you're the human. So the dog didn't do anything wrong.
Nope.
You're responsible
Okay.
to control that dog on that leash. So who was at fault?
I don't believe it was us.
Okay. Boy, that's a nice neighborhood you got there. Here, step right over here. What's going through your mind here?
Well, for one thing, the judge ended it before I could tell her that's not the only time that dog has gotten off that leash.
What's the problem between you and her?
Because she's a pain.
Harvey?
Okay, Kurt, real simple. The defendant violated the leash law. End of story.